Hey everybody, it is absolutely pouring out right now, and you can probably hear the raindrops as they're pounding the roof of my car. So while I am waiting for it to dry out a little bit so that I can go in the store and buy an umbrella because I forgot mine today, I thought I would make you a little video on getting through the holidays as easily as possible. Tomorrow, as you know, is Thanksgiving, and for most people who are struggling with food, weight, dieting, exercise, obsessions, addictions, whatever you want to call it, Thanksgiving generally marks the beginning of the most triggering time of the year. Yeah, don't worry, I'll never do that again. But it's true, right? Like, everybody gets really triggered because Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, tends to be a really emotionally laden, food abundant time. And so people get anxious about it, upset, all sorts of things. So I want to just kind of give you some tips. And first, I wanted to start with I'm just going to call it logistics. How do you get through tomorrow with the food component? Well, many of you have meal plans that you follow from your dietitian, and I'm hoping that all of you have talked to your dietitian about it. But I also know from my own experience and from just working for so many years that many of you haven't. So I want to remind you that you have a meal plan, which is a guideline for you to follow, but you can also be flexible about how you're getting your food in. So for example, a lot of people will say to me, yes, I have a meal plan, it works really well for me, but we're having Thanksgiving dinner at 2:30 tomorrow. Like, that's not on my meal plan. I'm supposed to have snack at 3. That doesn't work. Okay, so most people have 3 meals and 2 to 3 snacks on their meal plan. So get up in the morning. If you normally have breakfast at 8, get up and have breakfast at 8. If you normally have morning snack at 10, have your morning snack at 10. And then when it comes time for lunch, maybe it's 12 or 12:30, have half of your lunch. At 2:30, 3 o'clock, whenever you're having your family meal, you know that that's going to be your larger meal. It's kind of like your dinner meal. Go ahead and have it. You can follow your exchanges. And if you would like to add some exchanges because you want to try something different or new or more that's on the table, you have some exchanges from lunch that you can use, right? And then for your snack, just have dessert. It's okay to have a slice of your grandmother's pie, right? And then around, say, 6:30 or so, if you have exchanges left over from lunch, have them at that time, and then do your nighttime snack at 8 or 8:30, whenever you do it. That might be another piece of pie or some type of Thanksgiving dessert or whatever you normally have for your evening snack. You can be flexible about it, but notice that way you've actually gotten in all of your exchanges, so you have the security of your meal plan underneath you, and you don't have to worry. 2, if you are somebody who has been eating intuitively and you're not following a meal plan, you can do the same thing. Instead of thinking about it as, breakfast, snack, meal, you might be thinking more along the lines of breakfast, snack, meal, wait a little longer, meal. Or however you want to kind of organize that for yourself. My point being, you are able to get all of the things in that you need to get in a day. And for those of you who are trying to limit what you're getting in and you have a plan, this is just a way of thinking about arranging it differently. So that's the logistical part around the food. 2, and probably more important, is I absolutely remind and implore you to not give up your personal power to the people sitting across the table from you. It's really important that you remain the person in charge of the decisions of what is going in your body so that you feel like you have power and control, because you do. And let's face it, there's always going to be that family member who does the, have some more of this. I spent all day making it. It's absolutely delicious. You have to try this, and try that. And, for some people, that creates an awful lot of anxiety. It's okay to handle it by using your voice. It is so much more effective to use your voice to ask for what you need and to set limits than it is trying to use behaviors in your body. So in that situation where somebody is trying to push more food on you than you are comfortable with, or that is on your meal plan, or that you maybe don't even like, it's really, if you're somebody who is really open about where you're at in your recovery process, and your family members know that you've been in treatment or that you are working with a team or providers, it's really okay to say, like, it is absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for the offer, but I have a plan that I'm really sticking with. I'm doing really well, and this is something that's been decided by me and my team, and I don't mean to insult you in any way, but this is what I need to do for me, and I'm so grateful that you're respecting that. Thank you so much, right? If you're somebody who's not comfortable sharing your own process, it's really okay just to say, thank you so much. I have enough. This is what is right for my body right now, and I'm feeling really comfortable with it. I don't want to overdo it. I've done that in the past, and I end up really regretting it. It is absolutely delicious, though. Thank you so much. Change the subject and move on. That way, I don't know that anybody's feelings are particularly hurt, but you feel like you're the person that is in charge of what you're doing. Then the other thing that tends to come up a lot in the holidays are there's those family members that decide that they need to talk about dieting. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this, or I went off my diet today. I can't believe I'm eating this. It's so bad for me. And all of those things really just create a whole bunch of anxiety that people describe feeling like in the pit of their stomach. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they're engaging in this talk right now. Some of them even know that I'm struggling and they're doing this anyway. This is making me really anxious and I just want to leave. One of the things that's really powerful to handle that is to actually use your voice and just say what's true, because it'll remind you in addition to educating them. So it's a great time to say, you know what, like, all foods are fine in moderation. And they might try to argue to say, like, oh, well, that's what you think, or, maybe that's true for you, but it's not true for me. Again, just reinforce what you know to be true. All bodies know what to do with foods. All foods are fine in moderation. A calorie is a calorie is a calorie. A fruit is a fruit is a fruit, no matter what you do to it. And, it definitely feels better to just accept moderation and enjoy today than try to create good and bad foods and bad feelings that go with them. And you can say it however you want to say it, but I've found when people are able to do that, it actually gives the folks talking about dieting pause to actually consider the information, but at the same time, it reinforces in your own head what is true, and it helps you really relax and kind of diffuse some of the anxiety from that situation. Another really helpful thing to do is to have an escape plan, and but I don't mean like, have the window open so that you can run screaming out the dining room and through the window and down the road, as much as I mean, when things get uncomfortable, have a plan for how to remove yourself from the situation if you need to be removed. So one of the things that we talk about in 12-step programs, for example, is being of service. So sometimes, honestly, like helping with the cleanup is a really great way of removing yourself from some really uncomfortable discussions, or if people haven't really respected some of the limits that you've been trying to set. Other people will have a friend call them or will have a number. It's always important to drive yourself if you can, because that way you are not dependent on other people if you need to leave and go take care of yourself. But think about some type of escape plan for yourself if you need to just get out of a situation when the timing is appropriate. And then once you're done, once that day is finished, take a little bit of time to just debrief and talk yourself through it. Look at what you feel good about and what you're not feeling very good about. I know that for a lot of people, if you're really worried about what you've had, check your facts. So if you're worried about what you ate, one place to start is break down the food components. People freak out about apple pie or pumpkin pie or whatever it is. But if you think about it, apple pie, right? We've got apples are a fruit. The pie crust is a fat and a grain. You eat that stuff every single day. This just happens to taste really good, and it is shaped a little differently. That's it. Your body knows what to do with it. You are not, I promise, you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning with this rectangular piece of pie poking out of your left hip. It's not going to happen. Your body knows what to do with the food. Secondly, if you're somebody who's worried about the amount that you had, remember how diet-induced thermogenesis works. Your body has a place that it wants to be. It has a specific place that is really healthy for it and that is comfortable. And it's always working towards homeostasis to try to stay there. So you can have a little less and your metabolism will slow down so that your body can try to stay even. If you have a little more than you were planning, your metabolism is going to speed up and burn it off, always keeping you in that spot. It's very, 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 have I mentioned, very, very difficult to do any damage in one day, one meal. It really is. So, all of that said, those are some really simple, easy, quick tools to get you through tomorrow. They work. They're tried and true. I know many, many people who have used them. I used them myself years ago, and they work. So have faith in yourself to get through tomorrow, and try to focus as much as you can on the parts of tomorrow that you will enjoy. Relatives that you like. Maybe there's kids that are involved, their innocence and their playfulness. And the idea that tomorrow is also about gratitude. What are you thankful for? Who is in your life that you feel grateful for? What are you doing in life that you're grateful for? Even being on the path of healing, as difficult as it can be at times, is so incredibly rewarding. And just feeling thankful that you're able to be on that path. I personally am thankful for each one of you, and I wish you the very, very best holiday season.